Hi, Joy Horner here for another Thoughtful Tuesday. So, no huge topics have arisen this week. I haven't been asked difficult midwifery questions, so I've got nothing to answer on here. You can always submit your questions, just pop them down below and I'll do a live on them. But I thought I'd share with you something that's really sweet. So, in case you don't know already, there's a wonderful midwife called Sara Wickham, and her website is an absolute depository of really useful information and research-based information for pregnancy, for birth, for labour, for postpartum. Sara Wickham is great. Anyway, she's also a crafter like me. She's a crafty woman. She does like doing a bit of crafting. So I just thought I'd show you one of her things that she sells today. So look at that. Look at that gorgeousness. This is a little midwifery kit. This is a midwifery kit. Now, I think about how much equipment I used to take to home births. A good big suitcase full. And then another one for all the cylinders and things. So look at this. Teeny tiny kit, and I'll show you what's inside. So I've added a couple of things that I'd like, but I'll show you what's in there. There we are. Sorry, I just needed two hands for that moment. There we are. It's even pretty on the inside. Look at that. Stars. Well, it's nice and fleecy too. The first thing is a bit of cardboard. And you're going to think, a bit of cardboard? What use is that? Oh, it's like a loo roll. Or the inner of a, kitchen roll. So if you put it over your ear and put it on a pregnant person's belly, who's very pregnant, we're talking about the 3rd trimester. If you put it under the belly button, you might hear the baby's heartbeat. It's really good. So that's to listen to the heartbeat with. And you've got, oh, goodness me. Can you see that? It's a little cord tie. So it's some cotton that's been plaited, and if you want to tie the baby's cord, you can tie the baby's cord with it. Not included in there, but what I've put in there is soap, because I want to wash my hands, especially at the moment, but we've always washed our hands before we've attended anyone in labour. So that's a tiny little soap in a tiny little box. I had to break it in half to fit it in there. Not that I can imagine being at someone's house who hasn't got soap, but there we go. It's just to remind you that soap is needed. Put that to one side. And I've got some cord cutting scissors, and these are specially designed, and they're curved like that so that the cord doesn't slip out when it's cut. And these can be sterilised. Most of them now are disposable, but this is a stainless steel pair that can be put in a pot and sterilised. So I've got cord cutting scissors, but you don't even need that. You don't even need these two at a birth, because you don't have to cut the cord. And if you've watched my videos before, I'm sure you know that you don't need to cut the cord at all, like ever. So you can keep the cord attached and have what's called a lotus birth. And the cord will naturally separate about 3, 4, 5 days after birth. The cord goes really hard. It goes like a dried twig after about the first 24 hours, and the placenta's still attached to it, and the baby sort of kicks it off at some point. That's the natural way of things. There's no chance of infection getting in. It's a sealed unit. That's fantastic. And this is my only last thing. I've got a folded up pair of sterile gloves in there. As a midwife, in case I had to do anything internally, which is very rare at any birth, I don't subscribe to the fact that we need to do regular internals, during a labour. We know when someone's progressing, we know when someone's not progressing, but sometimes in an emergency situation, let's say shoulder dystocia or maybe a breech baby that was having difficulties, I might need to do an internal manoeuvre, and I'd like some nice sterile gloves so that I don't introduce infection at that point. Yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, Sarah gives this little card as well about what we actually need at a birth. So a way of listening to baby, soap and gloves for clean hands, a way to cut the cord, but not immediately, it says. That's a good point. A tie or a clamp for the baby's end of the cord. And what else do we really need at a birth? Love, warmth, privacy, nourishment, safe people and respect. And there's a little bit at the bottom that says, what would you add? Nurturing things, luxury items, or knitting? Knitting's good at a birth if you knit. I've never knitted. I can crochet, but I'd rather doodle actually during a birth, because it puts the midwife in a really good relaxed state. It increases the theta brain waves, which are the really relaxed brain waves that we get when we're meditating. And that's what we need. We need to be giving off those relaxed vibes to the person that's giving birth. You know, we need to be relaxed, they need to be relaxed. I heard a wonderful story once, and I can't remember who told it, but I'll tell it to you. And it was a midwife recounting looking after a woman in labour, and she said, I asked the woman about it afterwards. I asked her, you know, was she frightened at any point? You know, how was it? Was it okay? And the woman said, yeah, it was fine. You know, it was a bit difficult, and I did get really frightened at one point, but I opened my eyes and I saw you knitting in the corner, and I thought, if my midwife's knitting, there's obviously nothing to worry about. So then I continued on with my labour. So isn't that wonderful? Yeah. So if midwives are relaxed and look relaxed, it helps the birthing woman or person to relax. And when we're relaxed, the oxytocin gets flowing, and that's what makes labour work really, really well. So, yeah, so that was all I wanted to share with you today, unless there are any burning questions from anyone. But as I said, put your questions down below if you do want me to address any topic whatsoever, and I'll answer them next Tuesday. Take care, everyone. Bye.